I got great news for all you Mazda lovers out there. We have breaking news coming out of Japan from the best source of upcoming vehicle news. And they have what's not only accurate renders of the CX-5 redesign or whatever it's going to be called. We'll talk about that here in a second, but also the CX-3. And we could talk about how that could affect the CX-30 stateside. Guys, buckle up, grab your snacks and drinks, hit the like button while you're at it. And let's talk to Mazda. This says full power scoop here. And if we got a full power scoop, that means we got some really juicy details today. Now down here, it's saying preparations are underway to implement the newly developed hybrid. Ooh, that gets me excited too. Now, there's also this vehicle down here that's getting me excited. I don't know why the Prius is up here. This is the new step wagon, I think, for Honda. The Suzuki 5-door Jimny. And then we have the GR Super Sports, or this could be the Celica, actually. So maybe I'll try to dig into some Celica news and make a separate video on it. But let's get into first the renders. Holy cow. Now, what's even better is that we can cross-reference this with the spy shots that I have for you guys. So let me pull up some of those spy shots. We'll try to make them the aspects of the camera angle about the same. All right, so we're just really going to focus on the front end of these, the two vehicles. All right, spy shot down below. All right, well, the grille design's pretty close here. I would say that the honeycomb grille is a little bit more smooth looking than the blockier stuff we have here. Wow. Okay. So they are expecting that these lights, which they've pretty much nailed, they're expecting these lights to end at the right about here and then go into the paint of the bumper. That's a different design we haven't seen from Mazda before, but it really adds some more character to the headlight area. Down below that, how accurate are they here? I think they're really accurate. Actually, you see this piece that dives down, creating this four-sided shape down here. It's very similar on this render. The bar here is a little bit more prominent than the bar that they have there, but they accounted for it. So, wow, I think what we're seeing here from Best Car is like, I don't know, 95% accurate. The bumper here seems to cave in a little bit more on this prototype than it does here. It seems to pop out here on this image. Okay, on their render, I should say. We have parking sensors here, of course. But guys, I think we can chalk this up. Even the bezel changing direction right here, they got that down. So this is it. This is what the new CX-5, whatever they're going to call it, is going to look like. Now, there are reports, I already made a video this week, that the CX-5 could be renamed the CX-40. I don't think it's a good idea because the CX-5 is their best-selling car. It'd be like Toyota naming the RAV4 to the RAV3. Why do I say that? Well, it's because CX-5, it's sharing the same nomenclature to an extent as the CX-50. They both also occupy the same segment. They're just different types of vehicles. The CX-5 is more of a luxury city vehicle, and then the CX-50 is more of like this more wagony off-road. At least it's marketed more as an off-road vehicle. All right, so okay, let's keep moving. So the talks are, at least from Australia, that this could be renamed the CX-40 instead of the CX-5. But that also makes it, we also run into some issues with the CX-3 at that point, if it's going to be called the CX-30. And once we go over all these renders and compare them to the spy shots that I have, we'll definitely get into what they're saying about this Mazda. All right, so rear tail lights. We only have the turn indicator here. It's fully LED nestled inside there. Let's go back to this image because this gives us a design detail of the tail light. I don't think that they got it perfect here. I don't think this tail light's 100% perfect. I think they did their best, but look how this line is much thicker here on the spy shot. And I expect, just because this is covered up here, it doesn't mean that these two lights are are different lights. I think this corner light is going to flow into the bottom right here. I don't think it's going to stop, but it could. It could be an illusion here where this part looks skinnier than this part, but I think it could very, very well flow here. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the very back of the vehicle. And then you also see more light coming in here. All right, but interestingly, that might only come on at night. And then the brake light's probably going to be around the turn indicator. They have the right idea for the windshield wiper here. They got the dual exhaust down, but in the render, the exhaust tips are a little bit bigger, but they could make these maybe a bit bigger for the production model. And they even got this, you see how this has this little arch here, almost like a duckbill spoiler. Yeah, you can see how this sticks out right there. I like that sharp angle, and it looks like the render got it right. But I want to go back to the window line. I think they got this pretty nailed down too at this point. So this is it, guys. This is 95%. We don't know the wheel design necessarily. These wheels, right? Placeholder wheels, or they could be the base wheels. But this is it, guys. This is the look of the new CX-5 or whatever replaces it. It could be a CX-40, right? So I'm excited for that. Shall we look at the images of the CX-3. Now, I didn't spend as much time matching the image up perfectly like I did with the CX-5. I think it looks pretty cool. This front end we could absolutely see on the CX-30. Now, we don't get the CX-3 in the United States anymore. I just drove by one the other day and I'm like, man, you know, it's too close to like the Mazda 3, I think. And so the CX-30 definitely has more of a crossover vibe than this has more of a hatchback vibe, a lifted hatchback vibe. And I get it. I like both designs of the CX. Actually, I like this design better. Why do I like this better than what we have for the CX-30? Well, look, it's paint matched wheel arches. Imagine that. This looks a much more premium of a car than the CX-30 that we get stateside. All right, so it looks good. I'll just end it there. And the rear taillights look very similar to the new CX-5 or whatever that will be called. It looks like a mini CX-5, and that's a good thing. It's a very good thing. So let's get into the English translations here, and I'll be playing some of these renders for you guys in the background. The new CX-5 will debut this fall. I mean, take that with a grain of salt. Anything can be delayed, but they seem to know. But perhaps a new hybrid will arrive a year after that. Oh my gosh, that would be a big kick in the pants. Mazda could make it. They would make it work. It's just, as a fan and I'm excited for this new hybrid technology because we don't know a lot about it, at least yet. I don't know what Beskar has to say about it, but if it's going to be delayed, that's not good. All right, but they need to get the new model out. I get it. Mazda saw an increase in sales, but a decrease in profits in the recent April to December financial results. In the North American market, the CX-70 and the CX-90 and Toyota's newly hybrid-equipped CX-50 are doing well. Sales are increasing, but the intensification of competition after COVID-19 has led to an increase in incentives, all known as sales subsidies, putting pressure on profits. As for other regions, Europe saw a slight increase, but Japan and China saw large drops in sales volume, and the company continued to exercise volatility. As a result, the net profit for the period was down 45% compared to the same period last year. They're still making money, though. They're not losing money like Stellantis and Nissan, for example. In Japan, the highly profitable CX-60 and CX-80 models have not performed as well as expected. They should bring the CX-60 to the United States to replace the CX-70. That's just my opinion, because it's the same vehicle, the 70 as the 90. It just has 2 rows of seats, and it costs the same. Super frustrating. It is likely that they will start to show results in the future. Time will tell. They're very optimistic. If it didn't splash initially, how will it splash better over time? Usually when you have a new product, that's when its demand is at the highest. But of course, Mazda has a reputation for its high product quality. This is true and will no doubt continue to grow in the future. But for Mazda to achieve stable growth, it is essential that it releases that car. And they put that in quotation marks. The CX-5 accounts for approximately 25% of Mazda's global sales. And it was released in 2012 as a new model. the first gen CX-5. And it was a huge hit as one of the cars symbolizing the new Mazda, and was fully redesigned into the second generation in 2016. 8 years after its release, the second generation is still on sale, but this year the long-awaited third generation will finally be released. There are many rumors floating around that confirm the high expectations for the next generation CX-5. But as the release date draws nearer, the information has been consolidated. And so they're saying that they want to get to the bottom of the truth, including what has been revealed so far. So first up is the 2.5-liter mild hybrid. The next generation CX-5 is likely to make its debut in Japan at the Japan Mobility Show this fall. I will be there. So if Mazda last Japan Mobility Show 2023, Mazda said, hey, here's our vision of a sports car in the future. They showed us the iconic XP. It was the most exciting thing at the entire show for me and David Chow from Automotive Press when we attended it. All right, but they're saying it is unclear whether it will be shown at some overseas event before the Japan Mobility Show. That could happen. The United States is the biggest market for the CX-5. So it could be revealed here in the United States at which auto show? It could be the LA Auto Show, but the LA Auto Show, let me think here. LA Auto Show is November, Japan Mobility Show is October. So it's probably Japan Mobility Show. That's what I'm going to say. On the Skyactiv 2.5-liter engine, which is newly adopted for the European CX-30 and Mazda 3, will be installed in the next generation CX-5. Okay, I believe that's the e-Skyactiv, which is a mild hybrid. They're saying that the body is expected to be around 4,600 millimeters long, 1,850 millimeters wide, 1,700 millimeters high. Also, an expectation that'll be a great replacement for the current model. I don't expect the dimensions to change hardly at all, to be honest. It is well known that the CX-5 will be equipped with the company's first in-house made strong hybrid, but it is said that it will not be ready by the end of the year and will instead be delayed by about a year, appearing in the fall or winter of 2026. So what power unit will be the first to appear? Well, they're saying it will be the e-Skyactiv 2.5-liter four-cylinder installed in the European models of the CX-30. This is a mild hybrid. Mazda has 0 mild hybrids in the United States. So we might not see it. This mild hybrid 2.5. Who knows? They're saying the transmission is an 8-speed automatic. It looks like they could be finally ditching the 6-speed. But this is where it gets confusing to me, because you have to keep in mind that 8-speed automatic, there's two things about it that give me hesitation of it making it in the CX-5. All right. One is that it's only seen in a rear-wheel drive bias platform, meaning it's a long transmission. Typically, a transmission like this is designed for rear-wheel drive platforms, okay? And they can only go in longitudinally mounted engine configurations. There could be some wizardry that I don't understand with this 8-speed, that it could be put in a front-wheel drive model. I don't see it happening. I think it could be a different 8-speed auto. I don't know if it's going to be the exact same one seen in the CX-60 and CX-80. It just seems a bit strange to me. Also, that 8-speed automatic is only seen with a hybrid motor in there, an electric motor on the CX-90, in the CX-70, CX-60, etc. Unless there is a version of it that connects to a diesel that doesn't have that mild hybrid assist. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm taking the 8-speed auto from the CX-80 and the CX-60 with a huge grain of salt. That one would take a lot of convincing for me to believe. Doesn't mean it couldn't have an 8-speed auto, but for it to be the same 8-speed auto that's in the CX-80 and the CX-60 sounds unlikely. I think what's more likely is that they have a newly developed 8-speed auto for upcoming front-wheel drive-based platforms like the CX-5, the CX-50, the CX-30, the CX-3, or whatever all these new models are going to be called. I think it's likely they have a different transmission for that. I should have kept reading, because they kind of start answering those questions that I had. They're saying it would be difficult to find suitable space. It is possible that they use the existing 6-speed automatic transmission or a completely different multi-speed automatic transmission. And manual transmission is not likely, of course. Remember, Mazda is also developing a new line of engines called the Skyactiv Z engines, but those won't make it till maybe 2027. But those will eventually, I'm sure, find their way into the CX-5 and the CX-3 or whatever they will be called, whatever replacement vehicle of those could be called. All right, Mazda is developing that, and it achieves a super lean burn by using a theoretical air-fuel ratio lambda 1 A1 combustion, achieving high thermal efficiency and also inherent spark-controlled compression ignition technology from the Skyactiv X. Okay, it sounds like a perfected version of the Skyactiv X, which is very interesting. But in some ways, those are like diesels in some instances. They can perform like a diesel. Let's go ahead and take a look at the CX-3 for a second. The next CX-3, they're saying, is going to promote electrification. Development on this has begun, of course. It will be released in 2027, over a year later than the CX-5. Okay, so this CX-3 is a long ways out. Now, if you guys remember recently, Mazda is investing like $100 million or so into Thailand to build the next generation CX-3, or if they decide to call it the CX-30 for the global market, that's a possibility. It could be completely different from the CX-30 for the United States. The CX-30 for the United States is built in Japan and Mexico, and I don't know how many other markets get that. I think they said in Europe they get the CX-30, but I would assume they might also get the CX-3. So they're saying the CX-3 is currently produced in Thailand and exported to various regions. Its presence in Japan is fading due to the age of the model, but is being sold in Australia, the Asian countries, or the Oceania, Southeast Asia, etc. The car will be equipped with a PHEV rotary EV that uses a rotary engine to generate electricity. There also will be a fully battery electric variant of it as well. So there's going to be a plug-in hybrid with a rotary. There's going to be battery electric. And then, of course, expect gasoline mild hybrids is what I would say. I don't know if you would see a standard hybrid on here. Like you will on the CX-5. So I don't want to speculate too much about the CX-3. It's too far away. I think the renders that they have here are quite attractive. But again, that vehicle has been discontinued in North America for a few years now, since the CX-30 essentially came around. The CX-30 is going to be needing a redesign. And if it gets its styling cues, I'm all for it. But who knows what kind of powertrains they will have for the CX-30. Now, currently the CX-30 has the same powertrains as the CX-5. So there's a good chance that the CX-5's hybrid and mild hybrid, or whatever other powertrains the next generation CX-5 is going to have, the CX-30 will get that too, as well as the CX-50. In theory, I don't know how long Mazda plans to use Toyota's hybrid in that vehicle. It could be for 5 years for all we know. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Stay locked in on the channel. Regardless of where this is going to be revealed, I probably will be there to give you guys some hands-on coverage. For sure in Japan, I will be there to give you the hands-on coverage. And if it's at the LA Auto Show, I didn't go this past year. There wasn't enough there for me to make the business sense of it, my opinion. But yes, if there's something new like a Mazda CX-5 there at LA Auto Show, yeah, I probably would make it. This vehicle is very important to Mazda, and it does really well on my channel. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.